Okay, comparison operators. I have a very simple application here. It asks the user for a number between 1 and 10. It takes the user's input, converts it to an integer, and puts it in a variable called number. That's pretty much the only thing this does. What I want to do, if the user enters a number lower than a 5, I want to say a message to the user to tell them, oh, you chose a low number. Otherwise, you chose a high number. Very simple. So in order to do this, we need a condition. We're going to use the if condition. And we're going to say, is the number less than 5? So how we represent less than is a left angular bracket that looks like that, and then 5. And then with the if statement, we use our curly brackets. And then this is what happens when our number is lower than a 5. So we're going to tell the user, I don't know, you picked a low number. So something like that. However, if the number's not lower than a 5, well, then we can use else and just pretty much reverse this. You picked a high number. There. So if we run the application now, pick a number between 1 and 10. So remember, lower than a 5 is low. So I'm going to do 4. I picked a low number. And that's it. Great piece of software, isn't it? Then if the number's 5 or higher, so let's do a 5, it should tell me I picked a high number. I picked a high number. Similarly, if I put 1 million in there, it's going to say I picked a high number. But this is an example of a comparison operator that is called the less than operator. Similarly, we could use the more than operator, which is represented by a right angular bracket. And now this is not going to make sense, so we'll have to reverse these. And that's going to do exactly the same, but you can see it's reversed. So if the number is more than 5, then we picked a high number. Otherwise, we picked a low number. It's going to do exactly the same thing. But because I reversed this, I have to reverse these too. It only makes sense. The other two are more than or equal to and less than or equal to. And more than or equal to is represented this way. So more than or equal to, and less than or equal to, as you may have guessed, a left angular bracket and an equal sign. So when using things like not equal to, less than equal to, more than equal to, try and remember the equal sign always goes on the right hand side, always in C#. So now, if the user picked a number less than or equal to 5, then apparently they picked a high number, which isn't true. So we reverse these again. Okay, so less than or equal to 5, they picked a low number. We had less than 5 before, so if it's anything up to number 4, then it's a low number. So if we want to say less than or equal to that, we would need to do that instead. Because the number is less than or equal to 4, then it's a low number. So less than or equal to 4 is the same as saying less than 5. And again, we can use more than or equal to reverse the logic again. So if the number is more than or equal to 5, again, we can reverse these statements. So we get exactly the same thing. So they are what's called comparison operators in C#. So if we put 7, you picked a high number.